Hey, my name is Nicole, and thanks so much for joining me today for another Yoga Flow. Today we are going to be doing a yin practice, and the focus of the yin practice is going to be nourishing the entire body. The focal point of this flow, if you are into things like this, would be the kidney and I believe spleen or stomach meridians. Feel free to check me on that. But both having to do with processing things and allowing our body to do so. And these postures are going to help feed into that nourishing energy so that we can process and move through whatever it is that may be plaguing us. In a more physical sense, it's a yin flow, so the postures are going to be held for about a minute, so this is beginner friendly. This is a flow that is best done first thing in the morning or right before you go to bed. Beginner friendly, make sure to have some blocks. If you don't have a bolster, you can have a big fat pillow, like I have. And with that being said, we will get right to it. And starting today's practice, we'll start in a wild child's pose. Now, if you want to make this child's pose a little bit more yin friendly, you can take your pillow or bolster, rest the chest on it as you reach hands forward here. I don't know about you, but this is wildly comfortable. So we're going to be here holding this pose for about a minute, reaching the hands forward, or if that's a little bit uncomfortable for you, you can always bring the hands down, fingers towards the toes, or even wrap your hands around your bolster and or pillow and rest here. Just breathe through these postures as we hold, knowing that the point isn't necessarily to get a good workout with yin flow. With the yin flow, it's more to get into the deeper parts of the body aside from the muscle, the warm muscle, the yang muscle, which are the muscles that you know about, your pectorals, your delts, your hamstrings, all that good stuff. When we say plastic tissue, which is what we work when we're in yin, we're talking about the ligaments, the joints, giving them some love. Very good. You can inhale, come up. I know, no promise. We'll come back to that later. We're going to rock the body forward, coming into a tabletop stance with shoulders stacked over the wrists and knees stacked over, or stacked under. Yes. From here, gazing towards the ground, we're going to inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, big breath in. Exhale, round and contract. Very good. If you'd like some blocks under the hands, that's totally alright. Whatever little movements as well, any organic movements that you'd like to take in this cat-cow posture as you keep alternating between the cat and the cow are perfectly fine. So hip circles, maybe you rock back and forth. Invite those curious little movements without judgment, just for a little while longer. Couple more rounds here. Very good. Let's return back to our regular tabletop posture. And in it, we're going to take our right foot and we're going to bring that knee forward and step that right foot in between our hands. Now you may need to kind of wiggle it to get it precisely in the middle, and you may need to slide your back leg back slightly as you come into this low lunge. You can also take some blocks and bring them under the hands, really melting that left hip flexor into the earth, maybe even coming up onto the fingertips, if not the blocks, to gaze forward as you melt those hips down towards the mat. The back left leg is flush to the mat, and the top of the foot is pressed into it, grounded into it. So we're just going to hold here for a little bit. Now I encourage, and yin practice does as well, use of blocks in postures like this, just so that you can hang out here a little bit longer. I don't want you to come onto your fists or anything like that. So if fingers is a little bit too much, totally okay. Grab those blocks and use them instead. Using them right under the hands. And again, we're going to be here for about a minute. And that does include the time that I was talking. Very good. From here, we're going to imagine that someone is pulling our hips directly straight and back. So on the exhale, sending them back towards that back left leg, which will then extend this right leg. So we're going to come into a little bit of a half splits here. Now you have a couple variations. I am going to keep the blocks where they're at, come up onto my fingertips just a little bit because I'm going to keep my back straight here. And then if you'd like to intensify this posture, you can kind of lift that foot up slightly, flexing the toes towards the head as you kind of melt down towards the leg. Now you may, over time, as you hold this stretch, find that you want to bring your hands down to the earth just to kind of bend at the elbows and get that stretch a little bit more intense. Whichever way, we're holding for about a minute. And if you'd like, you can also take this by rounding to the upper back, really reaching that head down towards the leg, whatever variation feels best for the body here. Very good. We'll inhale, walk the hands to frame the foot, bend back into that leg, tuck the back toes, lift the back leg, and then inhale to send it back. Bringing the knees to the floor, let's come into Sphinx. Reaching the forearms with the hands splayed out onto the mat, maybe walking the knees back so the tops of the feet can press firmly into the mat. Once the elbows are framing the chest, hands splayed nice and wide, we will lift and lengthen through the top of the spine, really looking forward, rolling the shoulders back, down and away from the ears, holding here as we breathe. Very good. Let's take a nice big inhale. Exhale, lower down to the mat, sliding the hands to frame the chest, pressing up, coming into our tabletop position once more to do that same sequence on the other side. So bringing this left foot in between the feet, you can once again grab those blocks as you come into, bring this leg a little bit closer, your low lunge on the left side. can adjust the blocks if you'd like to. And then when you're ready, again, take a nice big inhale. Exhale, send the hips back. Trying to keep this hip over the knee. Flex that left leg forward, come onto the higher edge of the blocks if you'd like. And take whatever variation you took on the other side to bring balance up the body. I'm going to lower my blocks just a little bit. And then I'm going to come up to the hands. Very good. Hands come back to the blocks, just so that we can take a nice big inhale as we bend back into that front leg, coming back into our low lunge. You can either discard or continue using the blocks. Tuck the back leg, lift that back knee. Inhale as you step back to plank, bringing the hands to the floor. We will bring the knees to the mat this time. Big toes touch, send the hips back. Grab that bolster. Coming back into the child's pose. Feeling the effects of our practice here. If you don't like a pillow under for supporting you in this posture, you can also take a block and just slide it under the pelvis to give you a little bit of support. You can also stack one forearm on top of the other and just rest the head there. Alright, let's inhale, start to come up and flip it so that we are laying on our backs. Very good. From here, we're going to invite the right knee into the chest using both hands. Give it a nice squeeze, holding just for a breath. Very good. Another deep inhale, reaching the left hand on the right knee, and as you exhale, guide that knee over to the left side. Feel free to rest on a block if you'd like. Right hand comes out towards the right side. We look over our right shoulder. Inhale back to center, both hands back to that knee. And then before we do the other side, we're going to drop that right leg down to meet the left. Bring both feet onto the mat. Knees touch, feet touch. Nice deep inhale here. And now exhale, let the knees fall to either side, coming into a butterfly posture. You can place 2 blocks under the knees here if you'd like a little additional support here as well. And again, we are holding for about a minute. Inhale, bring the hands behind the thighs as you gently exhale to guide the knees back to touch. Right leg goes down towards the bottom of the mat. Exhale as you bring that left knee into chest. Deep inhale. Exhale, use the right hand to bring that knee over to the right side. Left hand comes out, looking over that left shoulder if you are able. Holding here. Good. Use that right hand to inhale, guide the knee back to chest, big squeeze. And then as you exhale, we're actually going to bring that right knee back to chest, grabbing with the hands towards either the base of the foot, the ankle, the shin, maybe even the grip of your pants, as you use that as leverage to guide the knees into the armpit area. Happy baby as we hold here just about a minute. Trying to keep those ankles directly on top of those knees. Very good. Nice deep exhale. When you get to it, bring the knees together, hands on the knees, maybe rock them back and forth. Just for a little bit, and whenever you're ready, a couple options for your Shavasana. You can take your pillow, bolster, whatever you have, and place your knees directly on top of it as you lay back to give the lower body a little bit of support. Or if you'd like to once again take that child's pose variation with the bolster directly under the chest, under the pelvis, I encourage you to get into that posture now. As you settle into your corpse pose, your shavasana, your child's pose, whatever version you are taking today, I will invite you to do a quick body scan. Make sure you are not willingly holding on to any tension within the body. So checking with the eyes once they're closed, making sure you're not forcing them shut. If you find you are, maybe taking a couple gentle blinks just to encourage the softness and the softening of the eyelids. Coming to the jaw, making sure we're not clenching there, and if we find we are, perhaps opening the mouth ever so slightly, just to again encourage that openness. The hands are facing upwards toward the sky, open to receiving, not clenched palms, and we are simply spending this time in being. So reflecting on how we feel now versus how we felt at the beginning of the practice. And if this is your first time in a yin class, I am so honored to have done it with you. And maybe asking yourself, what were the challenges, or what did you find especially beneficial or different about a yin class? Whichever prompt you choose to focus on for your shavasana, I will allow you to do so just for a little bit, and I will let you know when it's time to come up. Gently begin to wiggle fingers, wiggle toes as you invite in a calm awakening. Maybe reaching the hands upwards overhead, taking a nice deep stretch if you are in the posture to do so, from your hands down to your toes. And whenever you're ready to start adjusting to the light, you can gently blink the eyes open, stay where you are, or roll over. Bring yourself up to any seated position that is comfortable for you. As we finish today's class, we will inhale, bring hands all the way up overhead, holding everything that we've created for ourselves well within our hands as palms touch. Exhaling all of that beautiful energy down to our heart center where it will never leave, bowing forward. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining with me. It has been yet another pleasure to flow with you, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.